And then if it doesn't work, if the composition doesn't work, if the playstyle doesn't work, they change immediately and move elsewhere. So this is going to be an adapting moment for them. Let's see if it actually works.
Man, you were spitting some hot fire, Raz, tonight. You were on point, but personally, I'm not a rapper. We'll get into this picks and bans. OMG going up against Snake for our first series of the day, and it will be Rumble, Camille, and Karzak's band out there from OMG, and Zyra, Kog'Maw, and Syndra coming in from Snake. Now, Raz, we were just looking at the resolution of this, and you tried to peer around. It's not a 3D hologram. You can't.
Are you sure
you
about
can't
that?
change the angle on this.
Are you sure?
The pick.
It's kind of like when my mother just tries to play Super Mario, and so if she jumps over a wall, she brings the entire controller with her. But honestly, like looking at Snake's bans, as the TV shuts off. But yeah, looking at Snake's ban, the Zyra, the Kog'Maw, that is pure respect for 5 in SMLZ. 5 in SMLZ throughout the entire split. Yeah, SMLZ has been a god this split. He's been playing so well. He's suddenly in the names of Mystic and Uzi and top performing AD carries in the split. And Kog'Maw, primary pick. Zyra also is a pick that 5 has gone towards so much, even though the meta has kind of changed. Essentially, people go towards Lulu. People go towards perhaps the Karma pick to answer to that. Nah, this guy sticks to this lane because SMLZ and 5 play to their lane phase.
They do, and they make it work, and they transition it to a mid-game where SMLZ just starts popping off, has done that consistently in the last couple of weeks. OMG will pick away the Rengar as their priority pick for World 6, but there was still Graves on the table if he wanted it. Flandre and SOFM will lock in Ashe for the ADC and Shem for the top lane. No real rush to pick up their jungler right now.
Yeah, they're just pretty much picking up what's priority. OQ going on to the Ashe. Ashe pick does mean that, of course, SOFM would want to go towards a Graves. They're going to be lacking in some CC, so get that Shen for yourself. Get yourself a Graves. That does mean that Snake would want to pick up that jungle pick and third pick rather than going into the second phase. Sure, SOFM is pretty confident in his champion pool, has even gone towards Rek'Sai sometimes here in the split, but I'd much rather him go towards that than a Sejuani. Don't troll me.
What we have for certain, though, Raz, is Lucian and Nami coming in for OMG, so they already lock in their bot lane. Still looking for a mid and top, though.
That's the thing here with OMG. They don't really care if they lose shove into the bottom lane. It happens so often when they're like, okay, sure, we'll go Jhin and Malzahar. Great for trading. Awful if you don't really fight us and if you consistently shove us in. So looking already at the first phase, Snake should have a good shove. We don't know what their support is, but Ashe is going to be bullying the Lucian and Nami, unless, of course, if they get a good trade. Then they got some problems.
This is a pick I do like, though, from SOFM, bringing out the Lee Sin into the jungle here to go up against World 6. So he will be looking to make that early game impact and potentially snowball that into the mid game. We're into our next phase of bans. Fizz will come out here.
That's really fun because when it comes to Lee Sin players, you're like, oh, theoretically through the meta, get yourself Graves. It looks like you have a great 3 picks here for yourself. But he's so confident here in the Lee Sin. When he gets level 6, he can really make a lot of plays across the map, even just impact it early on if he doesn't run into the Rengar. So this is SOFM saying, put the ball in my court. Let's see if I can carry this early game.
And we have faith in him as a player to do so. Echo will come out here as a ban against the tie. And Icon maybe setting up for another assassin pick. We know that is what he likes to stick towards and often makes it work. Snake, final ban here. What are you looking towards, Raz? What's the final ban going to be?
Ooh.
You have 8 seconds.
Syndra? Maybe? Gragas.
Gragas.
Right.
Syndra was already banned out, so while you're right, you're wrong.
Oh, no! Everything about it.
That's a half point plus half point loss.
Yep. So I get 0 points in the
that's
end.
That's correct,
yeah,
because you were wrong. Gragas banned out there against World 6 and Xiang. Primary Xiang.
Yeah,
because
Xiang.
Rengar has already been picked up. Man, earlier in the split, we thought we were going to hear from Rengar support, but we never saw it. That was
I mean,
sad.
I didn't think you thought that one. It was not going to happen in my mind. Maybe unless, of course, he's mentioned SOFM was in the support position. But then he would have just added to his trolling portfolio.
Extremely true. Karma was the final ban from OMG.
Okay, Snake, at this point, they should be holding of their mid lane pick. No surprise there for the last pick. So that just means OMG, Icon would maybe go towards the Ahri, maybe go towards an Orianna pick. Really does question what he's really comfortable with. If he looks towards his jungle and said, if I'm confident in World 6 playing this early game well, that I won't get bullied out by a Lee Sin and really Ahri, depending on the lane.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a Xiang pick.
That's very much a Gangplank coming out.
All
Would
right.
you say it's a Xiang pick? Because I look at that and be like, I think Duke.
He has played it before. And yeah, you do. It is a Duke pick. Like you look to Xiang, and Xiang goes towards the tanks. So he definitely didn't go towards it this time around. That does mean that he's not going towards a Maokai. He's going to pick up the Shen, the Gangplank, because he knows he's going up against the Shen. This is going to be a big call out to Xiang, and if he can play this matchup well, we've seen it a few times where if a Shen can get a good taunt off, if a Gangplank is not worrying too much about, let's say, a jungle trying to gank your lane, then if a Gangplank falls behind, good God, you're in for some trouble.
Now, if Zatai locks in Ahri and Icon has already picked in Talia, it feels like you could have just reversed their picks and this would make more sense in my mind. But
yeah.
Icon, everyone's playing Talia right now, but the fact that we just saw Ahri, which is, I would definitely say Icon's pick being picked into it, pretty interesting to see.
Ahri is an Icon pick, but to be fair, as the split goes on, we start to recognize that Ahri is an everybody pick, especially Zatai. Zatai, primarily known as having a large champion pool, goes towards Talon if he wants to. He can play the control mages. Ahri is definitely down his wheelhouse, so he knows what he's going into because Talia is a very safe pick lately. So he's just going to try and get himself some strong pick potential here, especially with Shen backing him up. There's a lot of pick and poke coming in from the team. No poke, but this is primarily pick. So,
primarily
I got to back up on that one.
So what are we looking for from the side of OMG? Is it pretty much just like a classic OMG ride?
Yeah. It seems like with the Gangplank with Talia, it's going to be centered around bottom lane. It's not really a surprise because OMG, that's been their strength. They've really rode that one home with SMLZ and 5 winning out laning phase, but this time they're going to be looking to focus on that. You have Gangplank, so once he hits level 6, could really just use his ulti, and that's essentially his entire focus.
Yep.
And the same with Talia. Talia has been incredibly impactful as of late. Has been impactful in Korea for some time now, but it has started to become blind pickable out of nowhere in the LPL. We've seen it here and there with some, for instance, Rookie, for instance. But now it's just been kind of like just the primary a thought for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
You see, it's either Talon, Orianna, or the Talia.
The funny thing for me is that Xiang is picking Gangplank here, and usually Gangplank is a very good pick if you want to instantly get involved, but Xiang has typically been so good with his TPs up against Flandre, and it does mean that Flandre won't be able to exploit the lane and take the tower, but you would generally think that Xiang would go towards those teleport picks, while Flandre might even be the one to go for Gangplank, because he's had issues with pulling the trigger on the TP, but plop the ultimate down as an instant cast, so it's a big question to see how Xiang will do with a pick.
Yeah, for Flandre, this works for him because he's on a tank that actually allows him to split push, so kind of just down his wheelbarrow. That's what's fun about Shen is that, hey, do you want to play tank for your team comp? And if you want to split push just for your style, Shen's the right champion for you. But you mentioned Xiang. Him picking Gangplank is something he's done for a few splits when it became popular around EDG, IMA, and he's picked it up himself. It's surprising to see him on this pick because he's done so well on the TP champions. So this is him saying, give me the ball because this is a good matchup for me. And let's see if his ultis are on point this game.
That is the question. We're on to the rift for OMG and Snake. First game of their best of 3, starting off week 10 and the final week of regular season. We see OQ and Crystal will be sizing up SMLZ and 5. Now, where do you think the power lies as we look at League of Thunderlords?
Oh, everywhere! But they all make sense.
Man, it does make sense. It's like, man, SMLZ, you should have just gone Thunderlords for the hell of it. Even though it's obvious that Fervor is the best choice right here, you could have just had the triple, or the quintuple.
Thunderlords. The only thing that, of course, doesn't make sense, just a little bit, is the 5 going towards that rather than the healing one, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember what that one is.
Windspeaker's Blessing.
Windspeaker's Blessing, the most random name in the world.
Pretty random.
But Thunderlords, it's essentially because he wants to be able to take control of the lane. It's been 5's kind of go-to. There was one time he didn't take a Keystone. It was a sad life for him because give him the Thunderlords, give him, well, he was on Zyra at the time, I guess it was Thunderlords at the time too. Yeah, he just wants to be able to win out lane. And if you cut that down, that really cuts the strength of SMLC in 5, and that cuts the win condition for OMG a little bit. Unless, of course, if they are a carry that can go into the late game portions of the game, like Kog'Maw.
Sure, and Icon is usually the other facet of the team and how they win games, because sometimes he just gets a billion kills and kills everybody.
That's
so
true.
That's something else you could look towards. And plus, Xiang's also on a carry this game. He's not just on a tank, gonna do tank things. He actually does deal damage. and a lot of it when he hits his power spikes, which is basically ultimate and 2 items.
Yeah.
And then you get Gangplank things happening.
And Gangplank has been a champion that's had a lot of success in solo queue currently. It's been pretty high in terms of win rate. The only problem is once you bring it into competitive is that, you know, people know how to work together to bring you down. Shen will have a little bit of trouble, but of course there's a Lee Sin in this game. And if he passes towards tops, if Shen is able to get proper taunt trades, and then just wait for a jungler, because Flandre will, you know, progressively get tankier. Xiang will just get damage for himself. And then Flandre or SFM will just be able to come up top and get the gank happening. So, especially since he has Zatai in the mid lane with Ahri, if Ahri ever has any space in this lane, if Icon falls, that's that top lane gone. So that's OMG having to really worry about the first 5 minutes of the game for themselves. They don't want their lanes falling through. If it does happen, then everything goes downhill.
And we're theorizing the potential rise of Snake in this game. According to the audience, 85% of the fan vote to OMG, and I'm inclined to agree, honestly, considering the track record and portfolio that OMG has written themselves over the last couple of weeks versus what Snake has done. The Mr. Potato Head of the league.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like OMG are the ones to take home this series.
I would have agreed to this. Now, the only reason why I don't is because the fans always go with OMG regardless. This team is too fan favorite.
On.
Yeah. Oh. I don't even know what you said. I just think of a response. I was like, I just don't know what this man said to me.
That's fine. Continue your point, Raz.
Oh, thank you. The only real point here is that OMG is they always have the fans in their favor. So I don't want to give them this one, even though they are correct. Even though OMG has
even though they are correct.
Even though they are performing incredibly well.
I don't want to agree with them, even though they're correct.
Yep.
Raz 2017.
The fans are always wrong. I learned that one in customer service.
I'm pretty sure that's all right. Whatever. World 6, I think, just got spotted out there from OQ. So I probably won't look for that bottom gank. But SOFM's took a lot of time in that mid lane wanting that gank to happen onto Icon. And of course it does make sense. You get a kill onto Ahri and then the game kind of snowballs from there. But Icon was playing it safe, goes back to base and comes back into the lane with double Dorans and Boots now.
That's the thing though. It's he showed himself in the lane, so he wasn't hiding it. And just being able to do that, making Taliyah play safe in that lane, means early on in the laning phase, Ahri has a little bit of safety. She's not going to get insta-shoved in all the time because Taliyah has to worry about Lee Sin. Cleanse is not going to cleanse off a kick to the face. It's not going to happen. And so Lee Sin just putting on the pressure just a little bit does condition Taliyah for later on in the game. Maybe he can get a gank happening. Maybe that turns out to be a successful one. But maybe he just frees up a lot of space for her so Zatai can have a good laning phase. And then once she hits level 6, try to make a play on Taliyah. It should be very easy for the play to be made, especially with Flandre having a Shen ulti on top of you to make anything, just forgive any mistakes you have in the lane. So looking at Snake's composition, they're going to be looking to make action happen in the mid lane first and foremost. If they can get Zatai rolling, then they're going to be looking towards top lane. Then they're going to be looking towards bottom lane. It's all going to be on OMG to stay the course and make this early. I said first 5 minutes. Now I mean first 10 minutes. So just make the laning phase for Icon easy so she can access the bottom lane because she does have priority in the lane.
While it seems like that is the first domino to fall for Snake, Icon is destroying Zatai in this 1v1 currently. And I know in interviews he's been saying about which players he wants to kill next. And I don't even know if Zatai was on that list. I know he was. He was like, I definitely want to kill Xie.
Yeah.
I want to kill Xie.
Zatai is too old to get respect anymore from this man. This young gunner right here is like, nah. The one man that he has on this list is Rookie. Of course, everyone wants to be able to take the man on the top.
That's what I meant to say. I definitely said Xiang and not Rookie. I was hoping no one would notice that. But he definitely wanted to kill Rookie.
That would be a little unfortunate if he wants to kill his own teammate. That would just be like, this is when you want a camera in that household.
That's true, yeah.
Every time this man goes to sleep.
It's like, Day 6 in the big OMG house. Icon is murdered as top lane, looking for a replacement. Yep.
He's watching him sleep in V3.
He's watching him sleeping. Xiang has done better and better, and it's actually just the fact that he is probably one of the best role players in our league right now. He just knows what his goal is and will play to it every single time. His teleport to aura is on point, and that's something that you can not say about the likes of Flandre, who is very good in those 1v1s. I know Froscurin gave him very high praise in those 1v1s, but I would say, and you can argue now that we're in week 10, whether he's even necessarily been as good in those 1v1s with the competition we've seen in top lane. Like, you have the likes of a Duke, Carbe even. Hell, you can even say Gimgoon exceptionally good in the 1v1. And then you look towards Flandre, who is not good on the macro, and arguably just middle of the pack in micro.
Yeah, here's the thing about this, is that I think a lot of teams have gone away from carry top laners. It's pretty risky. They just go towards... Oh my god, Mike. Don't do this to me, Observer. Don't set the setting. Oh,
Icon,
no.
nice point blank into the charm and the kick backwards as well. Icon's still alive though. 5 is rotating it. In comes World 6. Everyone's still alive from OMG, and so far the flash from Crystal, and he'll secure the first blood. He's now chasing down 5. It shouldn't be the kill as the army of Voidlings follows him down. It's just the first blood to Snake.
Yeah, I had to cut my point off because every team knew what was going to happen. Snake wanted to set down the pressure in the mid lane. As I said, it was going to happen here, and OMG recognized that. They brought in World 6. They brought in the support. Unfortunately, Icon still went down, so that's a major plus to Snake. They come out ahead in this ordeal.
Flandre back to the top lane as well. He even used and expended his ultimate. Xiang threw down his, but it was not enough to save Icon. It was very close, though. It was only the fact that Crystal came in at the very end with a clutch flash did anything happen, as that was a questionable arrow.
Yeah, Crystal even set it up well, too. Really pushed them into the corner, so there was no reason for OQ to just veer it off to the right. He would have definitely had a lot more success if he went bot. But now this is Icon going for a bit of a desperate play. It's been warded out, too, so... Snake?
Well, he's going to build a wall and lock Crystal in it. He doesn't have flash, so now he's under attack. He's lined up, and this will be an easy kill for SMLZ. Great target priority, and that will just even up the tables.
Yeah, SOFM could not take advantage of the wards that they had placed because he was back at base. So this is Snake. Sure, they had the proper ward placements. This is something that's been great for Snake throughout the split. Their ward counts have been pretty damn high. Unfortunately, they just were not in the position to be able to take advantage of that. If they were able to pass away, say go to, back towards the tower, not get hit up by Icon in this play, they would have come out so far ahead.
SOFM is looking for a gank in the bottom lane. It's 2 versus 2 though, and he misses the Q on SMLZ as he gets the dodge on that one, but Satai is still coming into this bottom lane. SOFM was looking for the walking. He'll flash after, looking for the 1v1 kill, but that was just way too aggressive. Eventually, it will become a 1-for-1. Satai sweeps up the mess that SOFM created.
Yeah, you know, Spaghetti just fall all over the floor on that one. SOFM, he has a one-track mind. SMLZ and 5 knew it. They held on to the point in which he over-engaged. They get the kill. And, you know, that at least Satai knew about this. He was in the area, too, so he picks up a kill for his trouble. Wait a minute, that's not how that works.
Wait.
That's not how that works at all. No, no.
I'm extremely confused.
I know you don't play Talia, just, you know what? I'm just going to let it go.
He also didn't get thrown over the wall, so was that from locking himself in the E animation? Because he was definitely on the right side of that bastion. But why would he even go in there in the first place if that's your plan?
I'm just looking towards the flick, because he could have easily just flicked himself over the wall by just autoing it, but he tried to use the flick on that blast cone. That's not how that works. Auto-attack it. That's the only thing I looked at and was like, all right, a little embarrassing.
Crystal just chilling in this bush right here against 5. Arrow
wait a minute.
Connects, and Crystal will now just kind of wander after him, in with the ultimate. 0 counterplay. 5 just gets blown up on the spot.
That was the laziest combination I've ever seen, but it worked.
SMLZ. SOFM wants him. He's got the ultimate back, but he has to land this Q if he wants it. Kick against the wall. Here's the execute. SOFM, second time round, he found him.
That was hilarious. It was like, you know what? I'll give you a part. I will go towards the creeps. No! He gets the kill. Didn't you have to bow flash for that? But that's them saving the tower with Xiang using his ulti. Already, this is bad for OMG. Sure, they're far behind because of this, but the reason for it is because they had to expend Xiang's ulti just to save the tower. And of course, Ashe, even though she has 3 assists, that's a lot of gold in her favor. I want to see what OMG does to really counteract this.
Yeah, it's that repeated aggression coming in from Snake, which is making it difficult for OMG, while Xiang is protecting this ward with his life.
My God.
Flandre knows that eventually Xiang's going to have to go back to the minion wave, so he's going to use this opportunity to kill that ward, but he was going so hard just to keep that 75 gold alive.
You're going to have to leave the lane at some point. Xiang, I think he was trying to group up the wave so he can just blow it up and just try and save it once again, but no, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to commit a little bit more time to the wave there. In fact, he had a little bit of an opportunity to hold the wave at his tower. He messed it up just a little bit, so now it's going to be pushing back in favor of Flandre. Oh.
And he's actually ahead in farm right now as well. He's well on his way to his early Triforce, plus he's got the Ninja Tabbies, so Xiang is in a a pretty decent spot himself. SOFM will go back into his jungle now, 2-1-2. He's 100% kill participation, and while the first couple ganks did pay off, SOFM will always find a way. And now with that warrior enchant plus boots, we'll see what he can do.
And this is the thing about OMG. Sure, it was a little bit disastrous earlier on. They are still in a fighting for gold lead. 300 behind, that's just a tiny bit. Oh, wait a minute.
Crystal just walked up, hit the ultimate. Oki will follow up with his own ultimate, and SMLZ ultimate that come down, but the heal was still there. A flash from Flandre for the kill. 5 now underneath this tower. He'll flash away. Does he have anyone in range to help? No, he does not. He is very much a dead fish. It will just take a little bit of time, and Flandre will tank up this tower. And Snake come home with 2 more kills.
I was just about to say that OMG should just take a little bit of time, wait until Xiang gets ulti, and then try to make a play once again towards the bottom lane. But that does not work out. Snake decides to just completely lose that top side to be able to go straight towards the bottom side. Of course, it works out in their favor to get SMLZ in 5. So both teams are really putting on the acceleration.
First tower went over to Xiang, though. So it's just depending on what Snake wanted from that scenario. They also pick up this dragon, as you just mentioned, Raz, but the fact that now Xiang is gigantic, 3 waves ahead of Flandre, so that's over a kill's worth of gold, plus first blood tower, plus a tower.
That's fair. I think what's really troubling here for OMG is that Snake has now unlocked that bottom lane. Ashe didn't want to stick to the lane anyway. Sure, she can set up plays, and they have been getting a lot of plays to get kills in the bottom lane, but once you start to free up the Ashe pick, you can start denying dragons because you're able to take control of that area. Already they're sending Ashe towards the top side, so they're going to be looking to the first objective, which is top lane tower. So if they continue to do this, they just have a lot of options. Take that top lane tower, or at least pressure it. They can really start to go for more Ashe arrow plays towards either, maybe go towards mid lane to start to really pressure Icon.
Yeah. Now, you said that Snake were probably looking to play around their bot side anyway, so it's nice to see them actually execute on that, bringing in OQ and Crystal, of course, and Zatai in that mid lane. But I'm still concerned about when you have a Gangplank in the game and he gets such an exceptional early game where he is on point on farm, he has his Triforce, tier 2 boots, and a Ruby Crystal at 14 minutes. That's something that Snake do have to be concerned about. But as a result, SOFM is looking to shut him down right here and right now. Ultimate combination once again. I mean, like, how do you even get hyped about this? Because they just click buttons on them and they die.
Yeah, but he was in a great position to not die. If he had backed away, he had Gangplank ulti. Use that for top lane. That would have given you such a great advantage towards the bottom side that was already faster in tempo. They already got the tower. They can push on forward. If you had just stuck towards your own inner tower, use your ulti towards the tower, or at least the wave that was hitting top lane tower, what does Snake do at that point? They do nothing. They start to... it was a little bit unfortunate. So that was just a misplay from Xiang. We usually give him a lot of praise for proper macro in comparison to a lot of other teams. This was not one of those plays.
At the same time, you could say that was a micro play that he misexecuted, and we have definitely given Xiang a lot of flack for his micro play.
I mean, that's fair. It was a decision that he made. The decision was back away and play the safe game.
That's true.
Sure, he could have outplayed that scenario, but there's a lot of people that
we are arguing over semantics when we're both saying he made a mistake.
Yeah, we are. We will have this debate for the rest of the game.
Well, Snake is still ahead in this game, and finally with the amount of kills they've gotten, it has opened up a gold differential of just over 1,000 gold. So that is something nice to have under their belts as they do want to accelerate this mid game. And it did start in the mid lane, as you said, Raz, and then it definitely petered out, went towards the bottom side, and SOFM is still continuing to gather these kills and assist his team. So they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, the reason why the gold is so close, even though a lot of kills went into Snake's favor, is just the CS been coming through on OMG, primarily on Rengar, who's been farming up quite a storm for himself. So that's a positive win for them. It's just that with them losing a lot of pressure in the lanes, and they were very reliant on having priority, being able to set up plays towards tower after tower. That's just not going to be an issue for them right now. They're pushing back on a lot of pushes that Snake are having currently. So Snake, even though they're just a K or 2K gold ahead, this is them really being in the driver's seat.
Yeah, a bit tempo, and that's something you can't really read in gold. OMG are chasing down Flandre. This will be the a short run or a long run. We'll see how tanky he is. Yep, so mid lane's being cleared out by Xiang with that ultimate.
Oh no.
So that's going to stop. Flandre is actually just teleporting away, and World 6 does not have a snap. So Flandre will convert this into a bot tower from the entire run.
I think he just broke their ankles. He definitely did. That was CC that walked away from the play. That was a 5 that could have done it.
We've got a fight in the mid lane. So Ty gets knocked in. He'll jump away with the Spirit Rush. Arrow coming down mid, hits 5. Rest of the team from Snake is looking towards World 6 though. Getting chased out. Charm comes down, cleanses the CC, but still ultimately dies. 2 more kills over to Snake.
Wow, all right. That was just World 6 going a little bit too deep. He was looking to get the final kill. Walks straight into the Ashe. So you're going to have to give yourself up on that one. This is disastrous from OMG. Snake coming up big once again.
2 tower advantage plus a bunch of kills, and it is just going from worse to extremely worse. Look at this fight.
Yeah, that wasn't even coordinated coming out of Snake. They really chose a lot of options. They didn't go in one target. They picked off 2. Very, very messy, but it doesn't matter because A, World 6 over Chase, but B, it's a lot of CC. You're going to get at least one person. You're going to get at least one of them.
Couple members were low from Snake, but low doesn't equal a kill.
That's what's tilting.
Yeah.
They're getting, they're behind. Sure, they're making a bit of a desperate play when it comes towards the bottom lane earlier on, but you would expect against other teams for you to at least get a kill. If they were going up against an LGD, they would have gotten a few. The OMG have come back in a lot of games. They've made a few mistakes, but they have definitely tried again, and they came back in a lot of scenarios. So this is just not one of them. Snake is really starting to pull some pressure here.
I have a couple questions right now, and it is regarding Xiang's build.
Uh-oh.
Because he has the makings of a Sterak's.
Yep.
Now, Sterak's is when you're really struggling and you don't want to get blown up, but he needs to be dealing damage and he's ahead.
Yeah.
If you're ahead in this game and you're just the receiver of all that gold in the top lane, you have to go damage here, no?
I don't think he even thinks he's ahead. This is what's really problematic, is that he is technically ahead. He's ahead in the matchup, but a lot of the times he doesn't see the gold charts. Sure, the gold charts is just 4K, but if he were to see that he has much more gold over Shen, he would have thought, I'll take this a little harder. I'll go a lot more damage. I'll even go Youmuu's Ghostplay. No, he goes into Sterix, which we've seen this from Gangplanks before. Even if they're just even, they go to Sterix because they're worried about the initial pick. They have a lot of utility off of just the slow and ulti, using their ulti, and decent base damage. But this is not one of those periods. He's in a decent position for himself. Maybe he's worried, thinking 3-0 and 2. Shen is good for him. Oh, here we go.
Shen getting called out. He'll flash away, but does dodge all of this CC, but eventually there's just too much of it.
You know
and
what?
Snake lock him down.
Maybe he's right.
Maybe he should go for Sterix.
Maybe you should get 2 Sterix. It's unique, but you know what? It's the thought that counts. You need the safety.
Yeah, I'm backing up. Maybe that is the case, but at the same time, you can say he shouldn't be overextended and getting picked in the side lane.
That's the second time that's happened.
Yep.
Definitely OMG really overthinking these plays. They've had moments where they really could have gotten ahead. As I mentioned, when the split pushes were happening, or at least that I guess the lane swap plays could have definitely surged out ahead, but OMG misplayed right now, and I think they're in their own heads.
Snake, however, they're actually just all playing an S2FM game where everyone's out for themselves, every man for himself. Let's get these kills. I'm going to go for a gang. I want to kill this guy. I want to do it now. Everyone with that same mentality, and it's working because they're fighting OMG. And I haven't seen, like, pretty much, I don't think I've even seen a single fight that OMG have initiated this game. It's always a Snake diving on top of them.
Yeah, and this is, I would like to say, the natural Snake style. It's never pretty. It's never pretty. It happens a lot where you're just like, that. Yeah, sure, team fight went in the favor of Snake. They are certainly ahead. They try and play out because they are mechanically better than their opponents. That's it. In their own mindset, that's really what it comes down to for them. And so even though a lot of the times it's like, I can definitely play this team fight better, it's just that they outplay moments and they just simply had the early game lead. So it works out for them and they just keep going. They're going harder and harder with every team fight because they taste some blood.
But now they have the items to back it up. Like 5,000 gold advantage or just under is enough to mean that Shen is like basically 2 items. It's only because he's kind of separated his gold into a Tiamat and makings of a Spirit Visage. He hasn't completed them yet, but he probably has enough gold right now to go back to base, pick up Spirit Visage, have the makings of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side, Sterix now just completed from Xiang, which is a comparably very cheap item.
Really what it comes down to me, because it's getting pretty grim for OMG. When OMG is looking for a play, what is it going to take for them to come back into this game? Because they've come back in a few games. It's going to be in creativity. Talia Wall is really good when it comes to the utility. People think that, of course, she scales off as the game goes on. Some people think that it scales incredibly as the game goes on. Because if you can coordinate with her ulti incredibly well, you can set up some team fights, but she's going to have a problem.
Well, SOFM definitely thought that he was just going to get pinned against the wall there, and I
Yeah.
did too. I didn't know you could get kicked over that wall that was that fat, but apparently you can.
Yeah.
Wall 6 does get caught out though, but is there any more CC from Snake? Crystal was not in range for his ultimate, so no.
He didn't really even have to use his ulti on that one. That's just Rengar W plays. But yeah, Icon definitely has to pull a few twigs out of her hair. That was ridiculous that she was able to just fly through that tree.
Yeah.
That was something.
Never seen that one before, but today I think most of us learned something new.
We did.
You can get kicked through that very, very thick wall. SOFM, he's still fine. He's got 8 assists in this game, 2 of which he's killed.
Ooh.
And it's a turn on to Baron at 23 minutes. I think they can do it though.
Yeah, this is when it gets really hairy for a lot of Snake plays when it comes to random Barons. This is not too random because they are far ahead. It's just that they're usually bad at setting this up. But if they can sneak this, this is going to be incredible for them.
Here comes the Talia ward.
Oh,
Knocks
no.
everyone into the Baron pit. How much damage can OMG do right here? This is the one chance. World 6 into the pit. It's secured by Zatai. And World 6 will drop. He was in there by himself. And everyone has a dash. Why does everyone have a dash?
Rework Ashe, give her a dash. She just ended up dying on that one. That's the only reason she died, is that she was just not able to dash over the wall.
Yeah, the only 2 people who died didn't have dashes. And because of that fact, only 2 kills go over to OMG. Snake secured the Baron. It was RA to do so.
Oh, TP coming in from Shen. Let's see if he can get anything going. He's running like a madman. Just kidding. He's stopping for some gold. That's a pit stop.
He gave up on the 100-meter dash. Actually, nope, couldn't catch him.
They saw that TP coming in. They were just not going to let that happen. That's just the Snake special. I mean, Flandre's TP plays. When it gets undetected, usually it's bad. Usually it's bad. But sometimes if he can sneak in a good one, that's just Snake starting a random fight that will end forever. That's just Snake. They will fight you to, sure, Ashe dies. Well, guess what? 13 or 20-second death timer. She's coming right back into the fight. That's just something that Snake loves to do. I'm glad OMG has gotten away from that. It gets sticky sometimes.
Yeah, in that case, it was one of the bad Flandre teleports, and I would say it's 95-5 when it comes to good Flandre TPs. Zatai split pushing in the top lane, and to be honest, I don't even see anyone on the map who can deal with him outside of Icon, and that's so much reliant on him connecting the seismic shove. He definitely cannot clear the minion wave.
This is what's really scary about the composition, is that usually you can just send Icon in there, and if he looks like he's in trouble, as Zatai looks a little bit in trouble, he gets himself out of that one. But if it looks like he's in trouble, then maybe he can back away, if he has flash, that is. And if you recognize that one extra member is gone, then you can, okay, threaten maybe there's the junglers in my area. But no, there's a Shen in this game. If you have a split pusher with a Shen, you're probably going to die because they're going to likely dive you. So I can understand why OMG lost that tower. What are you doing, SOFM?
I'm surprised he didn't pull the trigger.
I am definitely surprised.
Because he saw blood in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's going for that one.
He was ready to go. Flandre probably yelling at him right now, why didn't you go in? But World 6 lockdown, he's already dead. Nice double kick coming in from SOFM. He's knocked away by the seismic shove, but 5 is already dead. SOFM may finally die, but it's a drop in the ocean when it comes to what OMG have been able to achieve this game.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a bloodbath in favor of Snake, and that's how they like to play it. So that's a 2-for-1 trade overall, and Flandre just wasn't taking any damage, even though he was just taking the full brunt of SMLZ's culling. I don't really care. And every single time he gets ulti right back, he has a Spirit Visage as he should. You're a Shen. It just gives him extra cooldown reduction, so he's going to be able to constantly look to make those plays. So even when Baron does fall off very soon, that's just something they're going to constantly look towards. They have that 1-3 composition you mentioned when we were on the desk.
Yep.
That's just something they're going to constantly look to go towards. So OMG, they really need to make a play happen. Usually it's going to be coming off the next Baron play, or maybe even the next Dragon, perhaps even Elder Dragon. But when the play comes up, they're going to look to get anything working in their favor. It's just going to be very difficult.
Now we need to take a second to appreciate the fact that Snake are so far ahead in this game and could very much take game 1.
Yeah.
And the fact that OMG, like, we came up with so much hype coming into this game, like this is going to be a flat 2-0. Snake very much need this game to even get into the playoffs in the first place, and OMG would very much like to secure seconds over IG, but this is in no way what I expected from OMG, though I haven't felt like they've set up any plays themselves in this game. It's just been Snake fighting fast and fighting hard before OMG have even set anything up. And
Ooh, as you
can argue if that's just a problem with the players. It's World 6, we'll just get caught out once again, and this is just a case in point. Like, this has happened for the entire game.
They definitely got caught up in Snake's tempo, and there's a lot of plays where you kind of question, yeah, Snake should not be making this work. This is OMG miscommunicating or just not recognizing what situation they were in. And this is a Snake that we honestly want to look towards and say this is what they should be doing consistently. If they had done this throughout the regular split, they definitely would have had a better win-loss record. Right now, they have a lot of drive in them. They want to be able to get the 4th place spot. That's something they can, sure, yeah, you know, make playoffs, that would be great. They don't want to get relegated. And if you get 5th place, that's the difference between, or at least 4th place. You get 4th place, playoffs, 5th place, relegation tournament. You don't want that. You want to be able to get into the promotion tournament ready, or you just want to get into the playoffs and just kind of go into the summer split fresh. And that's Snake really, really playing hard this game. Meanwhile, OMG, sure, they want to be able to get quarterfinals, but they recognize they're already in the playoffs. So that's it's a difference in drive, the mentality of it. Even though currently OMG could theoretically just, they're the better team, perhaps. Snake's looking to prove that one wrong.
Very much surprising. But this is the best of 3, and it is game 1, and the game 1 has not even ended just yet. You can even see, take a look at these goal totals. We said earlier that Xiang was ahead, but he is in fact the only member in this game who is ahead of anyone on Snake. He's continuing to do so, just farming for the Storm in the side lanes. And now he has picked up a penetration item. It just looked like he's going for a second defensive item in the form of a Maw. And so I have to question that. I feel like raw damage to break some of these Snake members would have been the thing to do in this game.
At this point in time, you do have to go raw damage on the GP. They don't have a tank lineup. Right now, Rengar's going towards that, but he's very flimsy. They need to be able to get any vision on the map, especially since Baron is coming up in 1 minute's time. No one's going to be looking to face Checkabush, not a single person. I was about to finish my point. Then I looked at SOFM's build. Look at him.
That is an Ohm Wrecker.
That is an Ohm Wrecker.
Man, I don't even know if we've seen an Ohm Wrecker in competitive in 2 years.
I don't even want...
In a major region.
I do not want to finish my point. This man has just built an Ohm Wrecker. Now he's going to build a wall. No, just kidding.
Flandre got away.
Yeah, he got away.
He's a bad Ombre.
Definitely a bad Ombre.
I was trying to work Ombre and Flandre together, and I knew it was in there somewhere, but I couldn't think of it in 3 seconds.
That is definitely 1 hour of prep. That's just you thinking how to fit it into a statement. How do I make it look natural?
Yep. I'll get it next week if Snake is still alive.
Yeah, hopefully the people who are watching this game live today, you know, zap their memory. Come out fresh next week.
Tag it. Neuralize them.
Yep. So.
Push down mid lane from OMG, and it's really just... If we get a play this game, that the Ohm Wrecker actually comes into effect.
It's going to happen, man.
Like,
They've dived so consistently. This is probably the most logical decisions that SOFM has made.
What is the verb for an Ohm wrecked tower? Did it get Ohm wrecked?
Oh, we're going to have to play with that one.
Ohm wrecked tower.
Ohm wrecked, yeah. Ohm wrecked works.
Ohm wrecked?
Yeah.
Because you could say disabled, but the item's called an Ohm wrecker, so I'm going to use that in some way.
Ohm wrecked?
There's
an Ohm wrecking on the way.
The Ohm has been wrecked. What is Ohm anyway?
See, that's a big question. I will not have an answer to. There's probably some man in the lore named Ohm, and he might even turn into a champion. And at this point, anything is possible. Could be a love triangle with the new champions coming in with Xayah, and there is just so much lore in this game. I will have none of it.
Of all the ways you could have gone, Raz, love triangle between Ohm, Rakan, and I've forgotten the other one.
I don't... Xayah?
Xayah, that's the badger. Oh, World 6. He's caught out, and flash kick. He's knocked over the wall. Another flash in return from World 6. It's a tie. Going in. Great dodge from Icon. He'll still jump away. And SOFM, he got his Grump. That's what he came for. All these resources were expended for that Grump.
That sounds like an SOFM play right there. High fives all around.
All right, good job, team.
Yeah, they're definitely...
Like penguins from Madagascar.
When penguins... you know, high five each other, that's just the movie for me. I paid $15. That's all I want.
That's what I expect Snake just did then. Yeah. Back to base.
That's see,
mission
Snake,
complete.
They can just keep recycling these plays. Keep going for it. Ahri almost already has their ultimate back right now. It's going to take a little bit of time for Flandre. Oh, wait a minute.
We broke the mid tower. Good job, boys.
That's
Still 3 towers behind, but that just opened a lot for them. Oh, World 6 was caught warding. He'll knock SMLZ up, and that may put him under attack now from Zatai. That was a little bit close, that charm was connected, but they are out home and dry. OMG make it out.
This is when SOFM should probably just kind of calm it down. Maybe even pause the game. You should be able to win this one out. Wait for cooldowns on your teammates. Crystal does not have ulti. Sure, Ashe has it, but this is going to be really difficult for Snake if they misplay here.
Here comes the wall from Icon. It has split up Snake, but they're not capitalizing on it. Zatai is capitalizing on World 6. Their return from Orb Deception slays the Rengar. S2FM and OQ knocked into the team, but Zatai is doing so much damage to OMG. They need to get out of here.
Yeah, but OMG is still in a very decent spot. Xian can still play some decent barrels, so chasing into OMG, not a smart decision, especially since SMLZ kind of gave Zatai a backhand right there. So this is getting really airy. Snake is starting to show some cracks here, and it's because they're starting to pull the trigger way too early. Wait for the cooldown on your members here. Now Crystal has to wait until he gets ulti. SOFM already has his, so they're well on their way to just being able to get to that point where, yeah, next time they turn on to Baron, it's going to be so much easier to just pull the trigger and get a member. But it's definitely harder now. Sure, you got World 6, but you definitely wanted more.
SMLZ is going to clear out this Crab Vision. Next Dragon, it's only 33 minutes in. No Elder just yet. This will be the final Dragon. It's going to be an Ocean, so at the very least, the RNG gods have smiled upon OMG and has not been a single Infernal or Mountain. That would have probably been the last nail in the coffin for them, had that been the case.
And you know, here's the thing. The Mopey man on your screen right now, there are some teams that I give them the leeway and say their one win condition can be in their AD carry. There's RNG with Uzi. There's W with Mystic. And I think SMLZ has been playing so well. He's been building such an incredible, like, for instance, he has a Phantom Dancer on himself. You usually don't see that on Lucian. It's usually Rapid Fire Cannon. He's going to be going straight into damage, and he's able to just, if he can solo carry a team fight, if he plays phenomenally well in one team fight, maybe that's a way they can win out this game. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see is, once again, OMG just sat in this mid lane, trying to just push up so Snake cannot instantly take the Baron from them. But you're up against the Shen. Flandre is going to split push forever. This is an issue, and it's putting OMG on a timer at this point in time.
Yeah, and the thing is, OMG really need to stick together as 5 because they don't have that tank lineup. They don't have a member who can instantly gauge the area. There's a Rengar, but if Rengar blows his ulti, and if he can't get anything off of it, the moment it's off cooldown, Snake will just go straight on back on Baron. So they don't want to just waste it willy-nilly, but they have to do this now. Snake are starting it.
Oh boy, OMG needs to do something. Needs to do it right now. Icon looking for the opportunity to pop his ultimate.
Oh, here comes
down
the wall.
to 1/3. The wall is split up. OQ and Crystal. Neither of them have a dash. This could be very good. Zatai and S2FM trying to make it over. He's actually just in the corner, so he can make it back into this Baron pit. But they have reset the Baron from Snake.
But Shen is still in the bottom side of the map. Someone has to answer him, or they have to fight now.
No, it's going to be Xiang. He's gone to the bottom lane. There's a big minion wave mounting in the top side, again in favor of Snake.
But Shen has ulti. They're going to look to pull the trigger and fight this one. Oh, or not. That's a very weird play. With GP not in the play at all, he would have had to TP, and TP GP not the best. They could have actually pulled the trigger on that one, but Ari did not have her ulti, so they just back away on that one. They didn't have a clean way to engage, unless, of course, that they were really focusing on Crystal to get that flash Nethergrass.
Yeah, Snake getting a bit of cold feet there, and that will give OMG an out for now, prolonging the game, giving items to OMG now, which is resulting in a redemption coming down, QSS from SMLZ. Top lane, 4 items now completed from Xiang, though 2 of them are defensive.
Yeah, he's got a Lord's Dominic regards here, so it's getting a little tricky for Snake because they've stalled this game out for so long. They had opportunities to pick it up. It's going to be World 6 picking up the blue buff on that one. But they're really starting to fumble the lead they initially have. They have been going back to Flandre, hopefully looking to split push, but he's a Shen. It's going to be very slow, and when he gets to the tower, Xiang has been matching him well. So Snake are starting to fumble it. It's 36 minutes into the game. They need to start pressuring now, or you're going to have a GP who's going to be critting you in the face. You're going to have very impactful Talia walls, and especially SMLZ, who is just continuously building ridiculous items for himself. You can't really keep him down because he has the QSS. He has Phantom Dancer.
No.
Oh, here we go.
Snake, that ward I don't think shows the ward inside the pit. That's what the observers were highlighting. I was trying to figure out what it meant, but they're right on top of this one. It's down to half. OMG, here comes the wall once again from Icon. That's a good split. S2FM's going to have to jump over them and reset the Baron once more.
Yeah, I think he's still on top of it. The Baron has not been reset. S2FM is still able to keep it up.
Ultimate going in from Flandre. He rides into the fight. Only now Xiang comes in. He's going to be teleporting into this one. Snake are committing on the Baron. We're looking for the steal. S2FM still alive. Spike comes down way too early. 1,000 health left. We just need Will 6 to come in, but he's dead as well. Another kill comes over, and the Baron secured by Zatai. SMLZ dueling Flandre in the back, and he'll get the best of him. He'll jump into the bush, but he gets piercing lighted down. OQ and S2FM are trying to retreat while Zatai going back to base. Icon will not see him, he turns the corner. And Xiang has chased away Ash and Lee Sim. Overall, so 2 for 1, but the Baron again to Snake.
That was a bit of a ridiculous setup from Snake. It was really poorly played. It turned into a 50-50, but they win out in that coin toss. And it just comes down to the fact that, really, the fact that they're able to, A, get the Baron. It was going to be Ari that got it, so that's legitimately Smite lost. But then they didn't get cradled into a fight and were able to get away. So Zatai wasn't going to be able to get this fight going for himself. But he somehow still comes back and he can get this fight going for him. So this is a really good setup. Oh, I see. SOFM just could not get in there. Somehow Zatai being able to take it with an orb, I believe, his Q, really nailed it for them. And they were able to get out of the entire situation. Xiang was trying to cradle them in to force a fight, but they didn't have the damage.
So Zai had to Spirit Rush away there, finally, from SMLZ. So that is, once again, something to OMG, but can you imagine the difference that would have made had OMG gotten that one? Zatai in this 1v1. Icon is not getting the best of him, and teleport was coming in from Flandre, but that has to be cancelled. So at the very least, they did get that. World 6 will find Zatai as the wall is still up, and now Flandre has to use his own ultimate. He'll flash away from the tidal wave. So many summoners and resources being burned from both teams.
Yeah, but this is Snake really going towards this mid lane. If they can pressure, I don't believe they can. Oh, Omwrecker.
I mean, they're trying. That tower definitely got Omwrecked. But we're stopping that one as the ultimate coming out from Xiang, and he successfully defended against 3 members.
Yeah, damage report, Snake has been pushed back. It looks like World 6 is
World 6 has gone very deep, and the follow-through from S1.
Oh,
he doesn't have the damage, though. Icon just detonates Zatai and OQ, and that has turned it around for OMG.
This has been a ridiculous game already. OMG somehow crawled back into it. Now, you know, earlier on, they got that mid lane turret, and it seemed like a bit of a desperate say, okay, yeah, you can take that turret. But now they're just storming the gates. They can get this inner one and maybe push towards the inhib. Being able to take down Zatai and OQ bought them 30 seconds.
Well, no one is better in a bar fight than OMG and GT, but they're dead. Mid lane tower will go down. They're out of the running, but OMG are certainly not. They're still looking for that second place, and from a massive deficit, 2 Barons have gone over to Snake in this game, and the second one has turned into a 4,000 gold deficit for them.
Yeah, I don't know where this game is going anymore. It should have been a Snake victory long ago. But they really played it impatiently, and now they're going to be, they lost the Elder Dragon to OMG. Insanity. So yeah, World 6 looked like a very questionable engage from him, but he was able to just get himself out there, and that was disgusting coming out of Icon. Just blew them apart. And that's the value of the flick. At this point in the game, it doesn't even look like he has that many items for himself, but Minefield does so much damage. That's just, that's you saw how much damage it did. That was a little bit crazy.
And that was just the Minefield going out. It wasn't actually detonation. None of those orbs on the ground, none of the Unraveled Earth actually popped. So it was the flick and his team, and he was dead. All right, we've gone fishing. What have we caught? Crystal's in the net, but that's a slippery fish. He's already gotten out of there.
This is getting really tough for Snake. OMG is just looking to outscale them there. SMLZ has full build currently. He's just farmed up a monster. Massive negative Baron power play. Never seen negative 4,282 before. Saw it today. So, you know, I can bring that home. Be proud of it.
And if SOFM built the Omwrecker to style on OMG, how is he going to feel at the end of the game when he loses? Because the stats aren't terrible. It's 50 armor, 300 health, and 150 health regeneration from the top of my head. But it's not a bad item, but in the late game, because it's like a 2,600 gold item, it's like not slot efficient.
Let's just say it's not slot efficient. It's not item efficient. You look towards the opposite side. Xiang has got himself the Infinity Edge. So the scaling's happening. The damage is definitely there.
Yep.
He needs to pick himself up a Randuin's Omen or something. He needs to be able to pick up an item that can really deal with the damage that OMG's picked for themselves. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. If he gets blown up and he has that in his inventory, then Coach ain't going to be happy.
Very not happy.
He's probably not really happy with how they played this game in the mid game, but
someone's backstage restraining him right now. Does he try and get on stage to yell at SOFM? Because he's caught at the moment. He jumps to a minion and gets big critted from SMLZ and Xiang, who just instantly take him out. Here comes the wall, blocking off Zatai from the mid lane. He did activate the Spirit Rush, and he was also blocking off his own team, so he'll disable that one. But the mid push is coming in. Charm goes wide. Minion wave flooding into this base.
They're really fishing for anything they can get. OMG have just taken control of this game.
Snake cannot walk up to the tower. And this will be the inhibitor falling to OMG right now. They're pretty happy with it. Are they looking for anything else? They'll back away for now. None of the side waves are set up for them, but they could look for another play. That one pick on SOFM did wonders for them. And they have done what Snake could not in 43 minutes. And that's breaking in here.
Yeah, OMG have really been on point this point of the game. What are they looking for?
Xiang,
He's
who
just
oranged it.
Yep. Nice citrusy flavor. Thank you for giving him that experience. He wasn't going to drink it until that very moment, but now he has quenched his thirst. This is ridiculous. I've said that about 1,000,000 times, and it's true. Snake is lost. They are definitely lost. They don't know how to bring this game back to themselves. It's going to be off the back of an Ahri pick, but who is he going to pick off? Can't be the man who has orange juice at ready. It can't be World 6 who has essentially Olaf ulti when he can just press W. Perhaps it's going to be Icon. It has to be Icon. He's doing so much damage at this point in the game. He has to get picked off. SMLZ is able to constantly just deal with it because he has the QSS turned into Merc Scimitar. Yeah, it has to be Icon. I mean, Icon
has to be, yeah.
He has cleanse, so that's the only worry. But they have a lot of CC for themselves. They just need to stack.
I actually think that World 6's W is closer to GP's W.
Because
because it doesn't disable CC for a period anymore. It used to.
True, that's true.
Basically, there's 2 Gangplanks on the enemy team. Maybe Rengar also enjoys citrusy delights.
Yeah, maybe he's sharing over the counter, giving him some orange, the special orange.
Seems like an under-the-counter thing to me. Something that instantly removes CC from you.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Something called remove scurvy.
Ooh.
Doesn't sound like an over-the-counter thing to me.
That sounds like something you'd get in the spam folder in your email.
Yeah, but it's legit.
Yep. It's that one email you wanted to be able to read. But your email
scammed you.
Yeah. Spam folder.
Spam folder. Never trust it.
Oh, they're going for this.
The ultimate from Icon has split up
a
lot of people, and the kick into Crystal does bounce to Icon. He's still alive though, but the Lucian's dead. Icon jumps over the wall, but Crystal's looking for blood. He'll look for another one. 3 kills to Snake. They pull the trigger. They kill 4. They're looking for the 5th, and it will be 5 on the run now from Flandre. They're looking to finish the game.
Oh my God, Snake somehow found that pick on Icon. Icon thought he was cute. He's like, I'm going to bring a wall, and I'm going to be able to get our team to be able to just burn down that Baron. That was a smart play. Unfortunately, the moment SOFM saw him away from his team, they kicked him into the rest of his team. World 6 thought he could save it, and this is where the
tower's got
wrecked. Double ohm.
And Snake will destroy these towers and destroy the chances of OMG taking game 1 because OQ was sending 5 back to base. Snake take the second Nexus turret. No threat to them when they have an Ohm Wrecker. And Snake will finish off the game. Nexus falls. And game 1 to Snake.
Wow, that was definitely back and forth. It should have been in OMG's favor. They were able to take the game back. And they have to feel disappointed because the one man that was tasked to not get picked found himself in the rest of the team, the enemy team. That was, he didn't want that.
Bad Ombres made it over the wall, Raz. And that's what happens. That's why you need to build an effective wall.
A bigger wall.
A bigger wall. The best wall.
With every teammate, it gets 1 meter higher.
But in the end, Snake took it home, and I can't believe they just won it off that one random team fight because they made so many horrific macro mistakes in the last like 15 minutes. But it was just that big dip at the end you can see finish that game off for them. And hello, You want to see
Spoiler
Gold
alert.
Rapid instead. You get us.
Spoiler
Just
alert.
kidding. There it is.
Usually you're the one bringing in Frostgear, but she's clearly on the desk.
I actually never leave the desk. I just sit here silently during all the games and quietly judge you guys.
Oh, no.
What's going on?
How you going?
Yeah, there we go. Give him the double eyebrow, triple eyebrow. I don't have a triple eyebrow, so there we go. I've just tricked you.
But I love to say this. Snake don't care what you guys think about their macro plays, and neither does that gold distribution graph. Like, that is the Snake train all the way through it. And yes, I do agree with you. It started to get a little bit hairy as OMG started coming back, clearing out those multiple Barons. But ultimately, Snake were in the driver's seat for 99% of this game.
I mean, they were driving it towards a cliff, though, for us here on the edge, and they just managed to swerve it back online at the very end. But
listen, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't clean, but it was a win. And the thing is going into this, we said that OMG were the heavy favorites. So despite that, Snake punching above their weight, this is 5th versus 2nd right now, and we should congratulate them for, avoiding the cliff. Good 90-degree angle there.
It's very easy to forget the first 20 minutes. That looked great for Snake because of where they were driving. It was like a great road trip down to hell. I was like, wait a second.
And you're going to notice exactly where my replays stick. So I got 2 replays to go through, and they're both pre-20 minutes. So early game, what was crazy about Snake's draft phase is I feel like they took all of the weapons away from OMG. I know you kept talking about, Icon versus Icon versus Talia in the Ari versus Talia. You're like, oh wow, that's actually a reverse matchup. Normally you'd think that Zatai and Icon would be switching champions, but that's exactly true for the top lane. The fact that Xiang didn't get the Shin, the fact that it was prioritized away from him, denied by Flandre, and then Xiang's like, well, I guess I gotta take Flandre's champion and have the gangplank. Like everything about Snake, it was such a draft that was designed like, screw you, OMG. We know that you like to play this way. We're gonna take away all your favorite champions, and then we're gonna beat you to the punch every single time. And beating them to the punch was beating them bottom. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay, so I'm going to have to describe it to you, but it was those consistent ganks bottom. They had the Malzahar, they had the Ashe, they were using that Shin bottom. It was just that race to get to SMLZ. And initially, it looked good for OMG. They got Rengar down there, SOFM messed up, SMLZ got like an early double kill, like, okay, this is the OMG classic, and then Snake were like, nope, this is how our composition works, we're going to play around bottom, and we're going to do it better than you. But then kind of the icing on top, where they went from like old Snake to new Snake, and why I was a big fan of new Snake, is when they made the play with the Shin top lane. So the map opens up. Raz, you talked about it in Cass. You're like, this is excellent for Ashe and Malzahar. They're opened up. They took the early tower, even though it traded for OMG, because now the Ashe arrow's moving around. She's just that big cannon, and she's just looking for the next target.
The hidden cannon. Every bush. You're like, which one is it? Nah, we don't know. I just don't know where it is.
But the real linchpin was actually the Shin. So Flandre kept overextending. All of OMG would throw everything in the kitchen sink to try to take him down, and there was that classic play where Flandre's caught out. He sees that World 060, the only guy chasing him. He just stops, stands still, and TP or Stan United's out. But the biggest thing is, like, Snake would always play that play, but they would never get a tower on top of it. And not only did they get a tower on top of it, they got 2 towers on top of it and a team fight. And so I'm backstage, I'm like, okay, new Snake, buckle up, I'm on this hype train.
And SOFM, despite building a record and almost throwing the game for them, will still collect the MVP. Because, to be fair, he did set up the entire early game.
Yeah, but he didn't have the smite. I'm pretty sure Zatai was the only guy running smite in that game.
Whew, that's also true,
that's true. He was very active, and that's what I like to see out of SOFM. If they win games, and he picked the Lee Sin over the Graves. So I wanted to be able to see him fly across the map. We saw that early on in the game, and so it was nice to see that. Yeah. Worked out for them. At the very least, he used Omrecker on the last 2 Nexus turrets.
That's true.
Works in his favor.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if they'd snowballed it further ahead and they were looking for those dives in mid lane, Omrecker does become not a terrible choice when you're snowballing.
Omrecker was a perfect choice if they had chosen to dive. The thing is like, they were in control for that 20 minutes of the game, and then they decided, like, hey, let's just not, play around diving. The thing about Gangplank is he's like the new age Ziggs. He doesn't care about Baron creeps because he does the physical damage instead of the magic damage. And you saw that repeatedly. Even though Snake were given 2 free Barons, they would just run the Baron creeps up the lane, and Gangplank would be like, ah ha ha, boom, all of them are gone. You can't siege into my thing. So why not just dive it? Just Omrecker the tower and just look for the dive, kill the GP, and end the game.
Here's the problem, is that they were doing that very well, or at least they were diving when they were able to. Problem became suddenly people were just blowing ults randomly. Malzahar's, I got someone over here, guys. Oh, no one can follow up. I guess we don't have a Malzahar ulti for this Baron area. Or, you know what? I guess Lee Sin kick is off. I can't really follow up in an Ashe arrow. Who's going to? Play patiently until you have all the chips ready. And they just didn't. So every single time they look for a play, oh, they'll get World 6. But it didn't convert into a Baron for them. Or it didn't convert into a top lane tower because they just were not able to play patiently to that last play.
So what this comes down to me, because I agree with you, is that Snake had an excellent idea about how they wanted to play this whole game out, especially across from OMG as their opponent.
Yeah.
Denying all those comfort picks, playing around the bottom lane, because you know SMLZ is the strong point of OMG, so you want to take the wind out of his sails. But the problem always comes down to the execution of it. Like, even in their Baron setups, like, time and time again, the Talia wall just screwing them up, where SOFM's just standing on the other side like, don't worry, I'll wait. But that just bought OMG so much time to get into that late game, to get the GP going, and then suddenly Snake were like, ah, crap, now we're going to deal with this late game composition.
But in the end, it came basically down to a 50-50 fight was what we were looking towards, and that was what was disheartening from Snake, because while they had the early game, and it looked like they had a semblance of a mid-game, which we criticized them for multiple weeks in a row, they didn't have that late-game decision-making, and they had too many mistakes coming in there. So either way, we are going to take a quick break and look towards Game 2 to see if OMG can shoot back.